Guys, welcome to Players United. Welcome to another video. And today is post Classico thoughts, and it's gonna be discussing a topic that was on my mind. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I feel that we're getting in that period of the year where the rumors are gonna start coming back. Barcelona, more likely than not, probably gonna lose in the Champions League at one point this season. Like, we now pretty much get knocked out. At least it feels that way. Doesn't feel like Barca are favorites. And also that maybe in La Liga we don't win La Liga for any given reason. And I know what it's gonna be said, and I know what people are gonna be trying to get convinced in, and also to just answer to some of you guys that are new from the summer that probably have arrived to the channel this season, and pretty much leave my view on the topic. Again, you can see it in previous videos, and it's gonna be the topic about Barcelona apparently having a short squad, or like not having enough players. And to everyone that sees Barcelona right now, you might be like, yes, we don't have enough players. We only have Messi, Griezmann, Fati, and Braithwaite. And Braithwaite cannot even play the Champions League as our forward. Okay? And we only have Umtiti, Piqué, and Longley as our center backs. Okay, I'll say that you're right. We only have three recognized center backs on the first team, and Braithwaite cannot play in the Champions League, and we only have available to us Griezmann, Messi, and Ansu Fati as our forwards. And that is perfectly okay. That is okay if it's your point of view. And I'm not saying that things could have been done better. But it's also about the topic that discussing what Suarez had to say to RACU, a Catalan newspaper article, journalist, sporting article, and basically he was saying how Barcelona, we're a good team, we're trying to change a few things around, but we just, in the Champions League it's hard because you need, when some other teams have like some other teams have like 4 players that can't come off the bench of really good quality. You only have like 2 of them, and we could do things better in terms of like we could do with more players. Basically, is what Suarez is saying. And he highlighted how Messi said the same thing, which he said it. Messi said the same thing basically. He said it when we were going to sign Griezmann in 2018, when he said that the more superstars the better, and then the coach will just put them in. He said it in 2019 that Neymar is one of the best players in the world, and he'll make Barcelona better by just having Neymar in the team. Suarez has said the same thing multiple times, and this is where I want to draw the line where I understand that the squad hasn't been built properly. The point where I understand that I'm not expecting these players all of a sudden to be playing how we played under our best football, but I am not willing to accept, or at least let them on, to give the impression that the reason that Barcelona are not at the best level possible is because we don't have Neymar, or because we're lacking players as a matter of fact. Because the thing is that in the 3 years where Barcelona have won the Champions League before this, like Barcelona as a total has won the Champions League 5 times, and in the past 3 times, the most recent memory since 2009, I'm going to tell you pretty much the forwards that were available for Pep Guardiola in 2009, 2011, and to Luis Enrique in 2015. 2009, Barcelona had Thierry Henry, Samuel Eto'o, and Lionel Messi. And as the backups, they had a young Bojan that was coming from La Masia. You had a Pedro that was participating from La Masia, and that was pretty much your forward line. In 2011, you had an established Pedro, a World Cup winning Villa, and Lionel Messi as your forward, with Bojan participating here or there. And that was Jeffrey, that you promoted from La Masia as well. That was your forward line. In 2015, you had Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, and then you had the likes of Pedro, and then during the season we had a little participation from Munir and from Sandro Ramirez, both from La Masia. So, now let's compare it to what we have this season. We have Messi and Suarez, who start pretty much every game, and then you have Griezmann, and then you have Dembélé, and then you have Ansu Fati, and before that you had Carles Perez, and before that Abel Ruiz. So, in terms of depth, we have more depth now. We have more squad depth now in the forward areas. Last season, as a matter of fact, let's look at last season. The starting lineup was pretty much Messi, Dembélé, and Suarez, with Coutinho, Malcolm, and Abel Ruiz and Carles Perez available to you. And that's a lot more depth than you had the other previous seasons where you won the Champions League. So what do you excuse? Like, now let me make it more clear. In 2015 you had Messi, Suarez, Neymar. You had Pedro, who was still able to contribute very well that season. And you had a young Munir and a young Sandro Ramirez who did a job. Alright? After that, after you exited the ban in 2016, in January 2017, you're able to sign players once again. And you go ahead and sign the likes of Paco Alcácer. And you're worst. In terms of trophies, you're doing worst. And in terms of play, you're actually doing worst. So you've added depth. You've added a lot more players, because you didn't only add Paco Alcácer to the striker line. You added Denis Suarez, André Gómez. You brought in Alex Vidal, Arda Turan. Like, you brought in all of these players, that how many of those succeeded at Barcelona? I think none of them. I think for the potential that they had, none of them actually succeeded at Barcelona. And you might be saying, well, is that the players right now that you have? You brought like players that were not as great in squad in depth? Alright, so let me compare it to you. What are you comparing it to? So you're saying, let's say that Liverpool are the best team in the world right now. We can agree that if they're not the best, they're probably one of the best teams in the world, okay? Okay, what is their forward line? Firmino, Mane, and Mohamed Salah. If that's their forward line, who are the backups? Shaqiri, squad player. Origi, squad player. Maybe you could say Lallana and Oxlade-Chamberlain, squad players. Are any of them starters? No, they're not. They're players that are going to play sometimes in another position, sometimes the forward line, can give you something. If they don't play that many minutes, they're fine with it. They're fine with it. They're happy with the minutes that they play. So, what's better to have? Who do you think are better players? Origi and Shaqiri, or Malcolm and Coutinho? I think Malcolm and Coutinho are better players than Origi and Shaqiri. So the problem is not your squad in depth. It's not your strength in depth. Because the thing is that we don't lose 4-0 at Anfield because we are lacking attacking players. Like, we actually had a lot of chances to score goals. We just didn't put a single one in. And are you going to blame Messi? Are you going to blame Suarez? Are you going to blame Jordi Alba? Are you going to blame all those players for missing multiple chances after they put 3 past Liverpool the game before that? So, this idea that these players have, which I think is, and I think to a point it's being contaminated by the media, which is like the idea that they're giving them, hey, you need the more superstars, like let's bring in 1 million forwards and midfielders and center backs, and then the coach will try to put all of them to play. You only have 11 players, you can only play with 11 players at a time, but sure, he'll try to fit in 1 million superstars per team. No, that's not the way that we used to do things. It's not the way that we succeeded doing things. And I know that these rumors are gonna come back in the summer. It's gonna be the Neymar saga once again, and I'm gonna have to worry again if we're gonna kill the club by signing Neymar. My stance on the Neymar situation hasn't changed. I do not want Neymar to come to Barcelona ever. Ever, ever, ever. You tell me the one player, you tell me probably the two top players that I don't want Barcelona to sign ever, that are playing right now, is Neymar and Sergio Ramos. Both of them. I'd rather you sign Cristiano Ronaldo, I'd rather you sign Agüero, Lewandowski, I'd rather you sign Sancho, I don't know, I'd rather you sign a million more players than Neymar. I'm not saying that all of these players are better than Neymar. Neymar's still one of the best players in the world. Of course he is. But being one of the best players in the world in any given day, is it worth it for having a player that clearly is not professional, that clearly has problems off the pitch, that it's not going to help you in the press, which is something that we lack, that we desperately need? Something, for example, that Griezmann has been doing with excellence this season, which is been sacrificing himself in the press. So, I don't want Neymar to come to Barcelona. These players have a wrong idea that if they think just bringing in more players is going to solve problems. No, it's not going to solve problems. And of course, if you can bring in a few talented players, for sure. But we're not doing things like we used to do. We're not pressuring high up the pitch. We are not moving the ball at the speed of light. And now we're trying to do it, but we're not have been successful because we built a team that is not being built properly. Because you could have had an extra 90 million euros if you would have sold Rakitic in 2018. You should have not signed Coutinho if you were not going to play him in midfield. You would have said, what, 145 right now that we are paying for Coutinho? If you were going, you should have sold Suarez for 100 million in 2017. You shouldn't have signed Arturo Vidal. You probably should have kept Bellerin and not signed Semedo, even though I like Semedo. But you should keep Bellerin because he's free. You should keep Grimaldo instead of signing Firpo because he's free. If you're not going to keep Grimaldo, you should have given an opportunity to Cucurella because he's free. They know the way that we play. They, to a point, have a feeling for the club because they've been here for a lot of years from the academy. Instead of signing like a bazillion center midfielders, you should have given an opportunity to Carles Aleñá, to Riqui Puig, before to Samper, Gerard Deulofeu. Like, I can go on and name players that have been misused by Barcelona over and over again. And if we try to get them right now, how much we would have to pay to get them? Adama Traoré, Thiago, Mauricardi. Not necessarily that all those players suit the way that the things that we need right now, but they are examples of how much we have misused the players that we had at the club. So that's basically the message that I wanted to give out. Barcelona has things that they need to change, obviously. We are by no means like the best team in the world. We have the potential to be the best team in the world. If you compare names, we have probably one of the best squads in the world. But we are not playing the way that we need to because we're not doing the things internally. The things off the pitch that need to be done to get the best performance out of this team. Anyways, that will be the end of today's video. If you guys have any comments that you want to give, leave it all in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next one, Blaugranas.